about digital asset, and the digital asset is divided by several different the types, and the first one, Bitcoin and Ethereum, so initial version of digital asset. So we covered that is a native cryptocurrency, or just early version of digital currency, or coin in short. And given that initial cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin and Ethereum has a lot of high level of volatility, so which means their price is up and down within really certain period, so give certain risk signal to the market. So some practitioners try to make some less volatile cryptocurrency, so by connecting the value of cryptocurrency with the certain tangible assets such as US dollar or gold or raw material, so which was stable coin. And by expanding digital currency to the more broad area, so it can be entertainment or it can be some content creation. So we talk about non-fungible tokens, and also by expanding more the applicable area. So in the later we can buy really small piece of any security, any types of an asset of the company by using digital asset. That is a more ideal or the next level of the digital asset. And also we talk about some platforms and how NFT non-fungible token is merging with the metaverse, right? So let me put it out to the lectures. So today topic: future money, market, and marketplace. Frankly speaking, I don't know the future of the digital market, but I think at least we can elaborate, and we can predict a little bit of the future of the digital finance market. So before starting today's topics, I think maybe as a graduate program students, let me introduce really important terminology. So for example, by doing your research, right? So within your research, let me elaborate some really important activity. So you need to reviewing. So reviewing activity, right? So literature review, something like that, right? So you need to review prior studies and what kinds of different perspective in the prior literature. So you need to do some reviewing, right? And once you review some prior studies and then current situation, you need to find reviewing, and I think and you need to finding opportunity, right? So finding opportunity is another activity in your research, right? So once you find opportunity, and then you need to making my own question, right? So making your own research question, right? And conducting my research. So starting from reviewing literatures, and based on literature, you need to find some gap or finding opportunity. It can be a good research and making your own questions and conducting your own research. And also you can promoting my research, right? Promoting means that you need to publicize your research, sending your paper to the journals or presenting your paper at the conferences. So that is a promoting, right? And after finalizing, in the final stage of your research, you can see influencing to academia. So once you publish or just completing your research, and then over time, your research might influence to academia. So for example, your research should be or can be reviewed by others. So that is a recursive, the cycle. For research, I think that is a major, stepping stone, and practitioners or any kind of project might be similar in this reviewing, right? So for the last 4 days, we tried to reviewing some phenomena, right? So that's it. So the lecture itself, regardless of the topic of fintech or digital innovations or any other the topic, the lecture is just delivering the knowledge. So you need to just make some good opportunity to reviewing what is the current trends and what is the important concept, right? And but later part, all this later part is yours, right? So you need to make your own research question by finding research gap and conducting research and promotings and writings and influencing to the academia, right? So this is what I wanted to say before starting to the lecture. So this is your part, your own part, right? So please keep in mind that part. All right. So money, market, and marketplace. Well, we talk about currency, or in blockchain economy, money. Well, the terminology of money is in traditional financial ecosystem, right? So it is a flat money, right? So wherever we are located, and by using certain currency, and then we can exchange some product and services. So that is the that is the purpose of the fiat monies, and in blockchain economy we call token, so token incentive, right? And market, there's so many market, right? So from finance perspective, depending on asset class, there's a stock market, there is a bond market, there's insurance market, right? Depending on asset class. And as we discussed before, given the fact that Bitcoin or major cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum is now regarded as a formal digital asset class, which means whenever many investor, the private or institutional investor, try to invest some money, and then they are always consider the Bitcoin as a the investing option, right? So back in the day, it was just regarded as an alternative option, but now things change, right? So there's a cryptocurrency market, of course, right? And market itself is certain place where certain asset can be traded, right? And marketplace is more broad terminology. So market, for example, there's some stock market in Korea or US, right? And in the stock market, there's many stocks for certain company, right? And then it can trade it within stock market. And the marketplace is something more broad terminology that uh, incorporate some participant of the market. So for example, stock market, there's stock market investors. And investor can be private, investor like us, individual investor, or some of institutional investor. So from investment bankings and some big company can put some money into the stock market, right? So stock marketplace is more broad terminology that cover all participants and the place. So marketplace, place also indicating some possible the location. So location can be either in physical or digitally represented. So so from money, market, marketplace, so you can think that it is more broad terminology. And the difference between market and marketplace is marketplace cover all participants of the market, certain market, and it is more broad terminology. Right. So before starting some future trends, maybe we can also recap yesterday. The topic was metaverse. So some of practitioners are arguing that metaverse can be some future of marketplaces, right? So well, nowadays still we are focusing on offline marketplaces and some digital marketplaces, right? Digital marketplace means cryptocurrency market or NFT. These are all traded in the digital places, and by expanding our scope, the metaverse, as you can see on the left hand side, which is virtual ecosystem where the people can interact and having some experience, and most importantly, having some transaction and also generating value together. So the definition of metaverse, as you can see, it can be next version of marketplaces, right? Back in the day when Second Life or virtual avatar introduced, that space is only the people can interact only, having some experience only. But metaverse, in addition to avatar or prior version of the digital world, the people in metaverse can having transaction and generating value. So that is something that we need to focus on, right? As you can see from the title, marketplace require market, and market requires certain money, which generates some value, right? So the metaverse, in the metaverse, many people doing some financial transaction, and of course the concept of metaverse is not new, right? So as I mentioned, the early version of the game Warcraft, right? It looks like a closed version of metaverse, right? And then where people can interact with each other, right? But metaverse ecosystem is not only applicable to game, right? And it can be just expands to human-based ecosystem, right? So it can expand to our workplaces or society, right? So in a certain metaverse, we can build our own town, cities, and many people can, making their own rules and financial system, right? And so how those metaverse can change some, future marketplace? That's because of, two technological foundation. So the first one is um, our experience level of experience can be dramatically enhanced, and also communication channel, the performance and speed has been increased, right? So for example, in terms of the communication speed, so metaverse comparing to just photo or musics and then video, the metaverse itself has a lot of plenty of information, and we have um, the 5G or 4G, right, of communication speed. And also we have augmented realities and the virtual reality devices. So it can enhance our experience level. So communication speed such as 5Gs and more supporting hardware such as augmented reality and the virtual reality support our the quality of the experience within metaverse. And so that is a first technological driver, and second driver is blockchain. So that's why we are just learning the metaverse in the digital finance. So the as you can see from the definition of the metaverse, so within the metaverse, the people can have a transaction and generate value. So from blockchain perspective, within the metaverse, there's so many people, and they need to have some transaction, right? So these increasing financial connectivity allows tokens or digital incentive used within the metaverse, so to transfer value from somewhere to somewhere, right? So the blockchain can also applicable for metaverse for certain purpose of transactions and generating some value, right? But still, many people think that the metaverse has some really big gap between real world, of course, right? But anyway, so we just define metaverse, and on the right hand side, the metaverse landscape. I mean, it's the current stage and the current the situation can be represented by 2x2. So high definition experience and low definition experience. So more high definition experience means that it can realize the virtual reality and then augmented reality. So Meta or micro mesh, they are utilizing VR machine. So comparing to Roblox or other just two-dimensional online metaverse system, it can generate more high definition experience. So high definition means that it looks like real, right? And also the metaverse can have some different scope. So for example, it can it cannot connect to other metaverse. So for example, certain early version of the game like Warcraft or Roblox, still they are not related to other metaverse or other financial system. So which call this is close connectivity, right? But some of other metaverse platform like Sandbox or Decentraland, it can connect to other metaverse and then financial system as well, right? So which means that, for example, in the Warcraft or Roblox, if you having your avatars and then your the money, and then it can be only utilized within those metaverse platform, Roblox or Warcraft. But in the Sandbox or Decentraland, your money can connect to other cryptocurrency platforms, and then your avatar is also, sending to other metaverse, right? So you have a really same, your own identity in Decentraland or Sandbox, so you can switch each other, right? But there is more, connectivity, right? So in ultimate, the goal is ultimate goal for the metaverse is increasing some level of definition of experience, of course, and connecting our other metaverse and the finance system together. So which means in the digital space, so you don't need to make many identity of yours. No. So in physical world, we are who I am, right? So what you are, what I am, and I have a single, tangible person in the physical world, and in the metaverse or digital, there's some copy of myself, right? There is no other version. There's only unique my digital copy, and my digital copy not be represented my own, identity. I mean, my own personality or characteristic. No, so we can design our, unique, digital copy. But my identity, for example, represented by a certain avatar, and then it can, place wherever, right? So my own digital copy plays in certain platform or other platform, and in a certain metaverse ecosystem, my digital copy, the avatar has own, digital currency. Then that digital currency can, transact across a different metaverse or even financial ecosystem. So it can really good, connection between my digital copy, the metaverse, the online spaces, and then myself, the physical spaces. So for example, let me think about that. I have $100 in my pocket now, right? And then I can send in $100 to digital copy of myself in the digital world. How? So I have $100, and then I can, buy certain digital coin or digital currency with $100, and then that digital currency goes to metaverse ecosystem in certain certain metaverse platform, and then my digital copy of the metaverse there, and then they can utilize those digital token, having a lot of fun experience in the metaverse ecosystem, and vice versa, right? So my digital copy in the metaverse can exchange some digital currency to the actual physical money, like Korean won or US dollar, right? So metaverse, I think, by using blockchain and making some transaction and generating some value, that is something that we can think about it. So that is really huge, big jump comparing to the early version.